decision to go ahead with the industrial action, according to Comrade Ajero, was due to the nonchalant attitude of the federal government towards ameliorating the sufferings of the citizens. Ajero, things are rather getting worse, with skyrocketing hike in prices of goods and services, making workers go through hardship with no government intervention. He said the Congress will, at the expiration of the ultimatum issued on the 8th of February 24, embark on protests in lieu to the proposed nationwide strike.
That next session declares a 2-day national protest on 27th and 28th of February to demonstrate outrage on the mounting hardship and insecurity around the nation. If our demands are not met, a nationwide protest to issue a 7-day notice that will expire on the 2nd day of March 2024 to the federal government, after which an indefinite nationwide strike will ensure.
Ajero also responded to the assertion in the social media, which quoted the Congress as demanding 100,000 and or 1 million as minimum wage for workers. He said while the assertion could be individual report, yet the workers deserve more in their take-home pay to enable them meet their daily family needs. The boss said demand for more minimum wage for workers will continue to be high as long as the dollar rate keeps soaring by the day.
The issue of 1 million you are hearing was in response of the questions, and it is a continuous one. If the Nigeria naira continues to depreciate, 1 million naira will play to the minimum wage. As of today, we are talking about 1,500, 1,600. So if it continues that way, 1 million naira will be too small for the worker. Does that not make sense? You know, why are we scared when we say pay worker 1 million, when those in National Assembly are collecting 16, 17, 30 million? So why are we so discriminatory if you hear 1 million for a worker? So if somebody can collect 15, 16 million for a job not even commensurate to the job that the worker is doing, why can't a worker get 1 million?
Back to the studio. So just as we've seen in the report we just had, the Labour Congress had plans rather to have a strike, I beg your pardon, and the strike is slated for February 27, and it is about the cost of living crisis in the country. And then we had the DSS come out to react to the planned protest, urging the union to shelve the plan in the interest of peace and public order. All right, and then the Secret Service urged the union to pursue dialogue and negotiations rather than engage in conduct that could heighten tensions. Gentlemen in the studio, what's your take on this?
To start with, because I don't even know where to pick it from, but let me speak from whether the legitimacy aspect of it, whether it is the right for NLC to go to protest. Yes, it is in the law that they have a right to protest like any other individual Nigerians. They can protest. Then whether it is right for them to drive home their point, it is still within the purview of the law that the NLC should fight for their right, given the situation of the economy that it is staring everybody in the eyes. So then you talk about the DSS. Yeah. Yes, DSS had just given their own advice. In reality, DSS, they know that being involved in protest this time, may escalate beyond the scope of their views, of what they plan to do, given the situation of the economy, the harsh situation that people are wallowing in it. Okay, so they know that it may escalate. So prevention may be, a better subtle solution. But the question is, how would you ask an NLC to dialogue, to take the form of dialogue? In the history of Nigeria, according to Oshomole, let me pick his one, there was never a time Nigerian labor had opted in dialogue that the government would listen, that what they listen more to is protest
action
and strike action. So the aspect I want to talk more now is whether it is their right to ask for 1 million or whether it is their right to hold it on to 100,000. Yes, indeed, it is their right. The economy is so harsh. You saw the governor of Niger State who came out to tell the press that they should not allow people to their farmers to bring their goods to any part of the southwest and the south entirely. So we saw that reaction that followed it. Now you saw that the way it is, we know how those foodstuffs and everything that comes from the north is comes to Lagos, and then it is skyrocketed in terms of the price of all the goods and commodities. What is the problem? The problem is that, one, when you are coming from, let's say, Benue State, before you get to 1/3 of the kilometers of the movement to destination from origin, it is that you find some local government staff asking for money to pay tax. You ask for this, that. You see the local government vigilante, you see the police. Everybody wants to collect one or two things from those people, and in the process, you will see that all those money will be incorporated into the money that was used to purchase that goods and commodity, and then the end users will always be the one to shoulder that responsibility at the end of it all. Now, again, to add into it is the issue of fuel issue. Yeah. You see, I keep telling myself that I don't know how my editor here, Mr. Tony, would have a very wonderful top like this in his room. Look at the design of the top. And he's finding it difficult, no sense. He's finding it difficult to go inside his room to pick it. That is the problem between the crude oil God has given us and the difficulties Nigerians are facing to get it easily. Look at the top. He has his top in his room. He's in his parlor. But he's finding it difficult to go to his room to put on those clothes. But prefer to be in the parlor and then choose to suffer inside the parlor while sun and rain is hitting on him. And then he had the clothes. So that is the irony of having a resources that is narrowly endowed by God, given to Nigeria, and then Nigerians are having a problem. My younger brother cousin is in Libya. He told me that one of the most easiest thing to access in Libya that comes with nothing is oil, PMS. It is PMS because they are oil producing nation. So how should it be that you be having a resources of that magnitude in Nigeria, and then you are suffering to access it, and then you are paying heavily to get it?
Let's have Mr. Tony's view on this. Yes.
NLC and the federal government are going on strike next week.
Yes.
I expect it. Government don't take labor union serious, and I think on the part of labor, I fault labor too, because when you dine with these people, most times, these are the repercussions. The labor union stay off completely. That's why may so rest in peace. The only human rights lawyer the country has ever been blessed with. Please Gani for me. May God continue to bless his soul. Since he left, nobody will look up to NLC to champion the cause. The difficulties Nigerians are facing. We're talking, okay, this didn't start today. Since the removal of subsidy last year, they made attempts, at bringing Nigerians into, it's not about protesting. And you say you're going to protest for 2 days. And if you protest for 2 days, what happens after 2 days? We'll go back again. That's what matters. After the protest, what happens? So I think NLC is not getting it right. You know, this is going to be like the fourth or third protest so far. You ask yourself, the first, second, third and then the fourth one, and the third, what actually came out of it? So if you're going to do the fourth or third one, you must change your strategy. It shouldn't fall in line with the previous ones because nothing came out of it. And these are things government watches over time and says, leave them, change protest, do this. And police, leave them, just provide cover. After the protest, we continue. No, it shouldn't be. I know that's what government delays says too. And then coming out DSS saying, but I want to point this out. There was an agreement reached when you remove subsidy, which was the biggest blunder the president made the day he assumed office. He said it, subsidy is gone. And I'm very sure that he didn't mean from this point on.
Yes.
But you know, and then you are driving, and then the filling stations are
immediately.
What I would have expected him to do was when he comes and say, no, that's what I said. I'm still engaging with stakeholders in the next 3 months. Can do it. But it's just, I'm sure his handlers will say, no, Mr. President, don't do it. And if you do it now, if you revive, people will say, no, you're a weakling. Leave it, let's struggle through it. That's where we're at today. So NLC came, no, when you remove subsidy, we're still battling with this 30,000 minimum wage, which some states are still battling to pay.
Yes. 30,000
minimum wage, and look at what inflation is costing. We can't even go to the market with 30k. You can't buy anything, even a small nylon bag. So we remove the subsidy, the consumption, the prices in the market has risen. Or on that 30k, you can't buy anything. So let's say you remove subsidy, no problem. So how are you going to what are you going to do about the minimum wage? You have to take it higher. And they've agreed. And we're going to buy CNG buses. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do. See, today, I'm not selling CNG buses. This is an agreement you reached with the labor union, labor center in the country. We respect them. An agreement is an agreement. I remember what government did to ASU here. To an extent, ASU wanted to go back because the pressure was on them. Nigerians are saying, let my children go back to school. ASU, they shape the propaganda against them. And it's wrong. When you reach an agreement, follow it up. We have the money. You're giving national assembly, you're giving them 100 and something million to buy SUVs. But you can't pay them salaries. You're paying them over 50 million as salaries every month, and you never owe them. Have you ever heard that they are owing a honorable or a senator? You don't owe them. But you can owe workers and tell them, don't worry, and you want me to come to work and do my job without any issue. So we have to learn to obey, honor agreements. That is where I think government got wrong. And this process, as I said, before you embark on this process and this protest, don't just do it like the other one. There must be some things hidden that government you see you coming with. So it doesn't go like, let them do the protest. Something has to change. And you must beg government. The workers are not, go to the marketplace in Nigeria. Things are not moving. So expect NLC. That's the only time Nigeria have supported them. But they've disappointed them in the past. On a good day, when you hear that NLC wants to lead the protest, people should be happy and anticipating it. But because they've not done it right, so I want to believe that they are coming with it, to the table with something different this time. We must get it right. And government, NLC must continue to pressure government to do the right thing and stop compromising their position.
Alright. So if dialogue is not effective.
No, even dialogue, and they said they don't want to dialogue anymore because they don't want to know it. What's the essence of dialogue?
If
protest is the only way out.
Strike is not okay.
And they should go on strike.
They should go on
strike. If this
protest
fail, if at the end
strike and protest as well is not effective.
You know what? They gave February 9. They gave government 2 weeks. 2 weeks is enough for government to say, okay, let's listen to this. Let's see what we can do. I need to give you 2 weeks. He said, please come here come here on Saturday. And I come on Saturday. And you're telling me, no, I'm not around. And I wasted all my effort. It was a promise you made. Keep it. It should be a bond. We want to provide this. What is stopping? Please, what is stopping? That's the question you should be asking. What is stopping government? We want people to come to work. Civil servants are not paid well, but politicians are paid and haven't paid retirement benefits for doing jobs for 4 years. Somebody labored for 30 to 20-something years and not paid entitlement, but a politician took just for 4 years. Let's be realistic. If we don't do it right, you see this thing we're avoiding. It will come when we least expect it.
Okay, but now the concerns of DSS is the fact that this is a
Leave DSS out of it. It's not even the job of DSS. That's the job of the police. DSS is behaving like police these days. Leave the protest is legit. It's a legitimate right. You don't tell them. What you need to do is to provide a security cover and make sure who doesn't hijack it. But don't tell them you don't have the right to protest. Anywhere around the world, you can protest. If you're not feeling with the government, you protest.
Okay, so because I think the worries now is what happened during NSAS protest not repeating itself.
No, that is why they have to be proactive. No, that is why. No, that is why the security agencies need to be proactive and be ahead of protest. When it happens, we know. If you go back to that NSAS, I know what because I'm here. I witnessed it. You provide a cover. You tell you want to protest, provide a cover. Police will be there to guide the rally. It's a rally, it's a protest. Yeah. It's not a strike, it's not a riot. You provide a cover and allow Nigerians vent. Don't tell them you don't protest, you don't have, because the day they will now do their protest, it will result to that impasse. You don't get. You don't stop people from protesting. In your family, your kids are complaining that you don't give it this. You say, shut up. And before you know it, you grow fear in them. The day they come for you, so you're talking to your parents, but you built it over time because you don't listen to them. There was no communication. People must test. People must vent. And in Nigeria today, people are going through a lot. No, let's be realistic.
Okay, so quickly, we just have a few minutes to go. Okay. NLC, there seems to be this, not so much friction. Unity amongst them. Yes. So do you think it will, in a way, affect this planned protest?
I would not agree with that word that there's no unity in them.
There is unity.
There is unity in them.
Okay, probably
they have a little of disagreement on decision-making process. So that is, you can't remove that from an entity called organization that has individual.
Well, I'm sensing something.
Is that going to affect the plan?
Because the reports have been food.
But the last interview, something going on. The last interview I followed with the TUC, he was very angry with the government. He made mention of the Minister for Labour.
How long is no longer there?
No,
the Minister of State.
Okay, that she was not even responding to all their explanations, sending emissaries to them to tell them what exactly it is that they have derailed on in terms of the agreement they had with each other. So I followed that interview. So let us not come to the conclusion that they may have issues or friction in the process of decision. Based on about few days interview I listened to on Channels TV. So there is a tendency the TUC will be part of this process. And then
yes, I understand where she's coming from. Yeah. Because in the past 3 days, this narrative has been pushed into the media that there's a friction, there's a rift between the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC. Even until this morning, a national daily published it, it was a headline story. And they've been pushing it for 3 days. And then the deputy TUC president has been the center point here. Raising an accusing finger against the labor union. This is not the right time. This is not the right time to do it. I sense something, and I don't want to believe it yet until that protest day. I just hope government has not been able to penetrate.
That is when you see actions of that nature, you should know that there is a penetration coming from.
I just pray.
God knows.
All right.
Just to divide, just as I did to ask.
Our eyes focused on the labor union, and yes. So thank you so much. Gentlemen, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Olusegun Ariyo from Urban Express News and Mr. Tony Nwaje from Recorder.ng. Thank you so much. It was a very interesting conversation. Thank you so much to our viewers as well for sitting to watch and listen to the program. My name is Nenny Wazaka. Keep it updated with us, same time, same station here in Galaxy TV for more interesting reviews. For now, goodbye.